Thought I'd give you a very brief update on the house if you're interested. So I'm in the living room right now. Let me flip the camera. There we go. And had the walls in here plastered, but not the chimney breast. So ceiling looks okay. I mean, you can see like the age of it, where this lath and plaster's sagging a little, but it's not the end of the world, and I don't mind. It's an old house, whatever. And I've painted. So I've gone with white for the walls. It's Dulux Super Matte. Then I've gone with something called Mist something or other for the ceiling. So there's a slight variation, and it's not super obvious, but I like it. And then I've gone with some Victorian white on the picture rails, and I'll be doing the same on the skirting boards, but I'm having the floor in here, which I can show you. I'm having that sanded, so these wooden floorboards, and I'll be taking up these tiles. I'd actually forgotten about that. That's happening on the 16th of August, so I need to make an effort and actually get that done this week, I think. No, it's got to happen after Thursday. So that's this room. I'm moving everything in here from the dining room, and I'll show you why. So there's that. I'm going to get my SDS drill thing out to chip all of this plaster off, and then that wall's going to get boarded instead. All of this stuff is like, there's lots of hollow patches. And some areas are not so bad. But that'll all come off. These score marks are like it's to help the top layer of plaster adhere to the walls. So this would be probably original. But that's sort of the big problem. So I attempted to open up this chimney place myself, but I could not get these top bricks out. So I started from the bottom. Not ideal, really. So I've got someone coming to fix this on Thursday. They're going to put a nice concrete lintel in and leave it as a nice open fireplace, and I'll get like one of those fake log burner things. But I'll be taking these wooden things off because I think we're just going to plasterboard that, and I'm going to take these cupboards out. The main reason I'm taking these cupboards out is because I can't reach the handle for that cupboard. So when it's closed, it's like hard to open. I know they're probably original, but basically I'm not interested in them. So that's coming out. The internet currently comes in down here. I'm going to be taking that from there and putting it into the cellar so that my router and everything will be down there. I've still not painted up here. Upstairs, going to have these ceilings boarded. Got the lights and everything, but that's fine. We'll be able to cut all that out. I need to drop the isolator switch for the fan. That's not a problem. This wall here, this is the outside wall in the corridor, is a bit terrible. So that's lath and plaster. So that's going to come off. I'm going to have to take that off this week. Going to use a bit of brute force to sort that out. I'm still ripping out some of the old wiring here. There's a little bit just to take out, and all of the coving and this picture rail will have to come down. So we'll replace that wall with boards. And in here, which was my office for a while, I've started stripping the wallpaper and the coving. This is just painful stuff. I've got layers upon layers here. But the top layers come off kind of easy, especially here where we've got this polystyrene backing. So they do this to insulate a little bit, but really all it does, it stops condensation forming on your wallpaper. That's mainly the thing really. That is doing naff all, and all it's probably doing is keeping moisture in the wall. So that's all coming out. I'm going to keep the fireplace, but there's some like proper grim looking stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to find as I take bits out. You can see that some of the plaster is coming away. This isn't like a massive problem. We can just go over that like a skim coat, but taking this stuff off is hard. I'm using one of these one of these big scrapers with basically a razor blade on the end. And doing that. Wetting it with water is good, but it can become a bit messy. And especially when there's this many layers of wallpaper, it is easier to scrape off the top layer first and then get to this other layer underneath. So it's weird actually, because this wall has 4 layers of wallpaper on it. Well, one of the layers is backing paper, but 4 layers of wallpaper on that wall. Only 3 layers on this one. No backing paper. I think they've replaced that with the polystyrene. And then the chimney breast itself appears to only have 2 layers. So don't really know what's going on. Obviously, it's just a horrendous mess. I found out where the alarm line goes just there. I just ripped that wire all the way out. And I've got another socket down here for the internet to come in. So I might take that line, which goes on the outside of the house, still got some old electrical cable here, and then route that one through to the cellar and leave the one that's in the dining room possibly. So I'm doing something a little bit dodgy, of course. So right here, where this bit of cable is still sort of sticking out, that was my telephone extension thing, which I could get the internet through. Well, I just decided to rip it out. It's not the master socket. The master socket is downstairs. Well, was. Shh. So the master socket was just here, but I need to take all this skirting board off, so I can't be having the master socket there. I've just taken the front plate off, which is what the router attaches to through one of these little microfilter things. Now, the actual cable that comes into your house is just two core, so all of this extra stuff is for like the voice and stuff, and I'm not interested in using a telephone line. So I've naughtily ripped it out because technically it's owned by BT Openreach, but who knows how long this thing's been here, and I need to take it off, and I can't wait 2 weeks for a visit. So I'll lead you outside. Look at all that. I need to get rid of all that stuff. So this is where it came in, and I've basically just ripped the cable out, and it's here, and I'm putting it into a vent hole in the cellar, and it comes from, don't know if you can see it, up there somewhere basically. So it comes along that wall and down and in, and we're going to try and connect it. So really it's a bit risky, not in terms of life. I'm not going to injure myself. The cellar's still a mess, obviously. But if it doesn't work, I'm not going to have the internet. So here's my cable coming in from that horrible dark hole up there. This is as much as I've got in terms of distance for now, but that's okay. I can either tack something else onto this cable for later, or just make do, and I'll screw it to the top of a beam here or something, because that's where my router's going to be, where I've got a couple of sockets, and this is the master socket. Also, I found loads of old packets of crisps down here. So what is this? KP hula hoops, potato puffs, American hamburger flavoured corn snacks, some 5p onion rings, and there we go. Look at that. Walker's crisps, and it's got a date of the 16th of May. I'm fairly sure some of these are 80s. Let's see if we can't. Oh, here we are. This one's got a date. It says 23rd of the 1st, 1983. Difficult to read. Anyway, we're not here for the crisp packets. Oh, and there's some Tangy Toms down there. We're here to wire up this master socket. Now, the master socket's fairly simple. You've got this back plate here, which I'm going to screw into the beam. You've got a front plate here, but inside that sits this board, and this board just takes in A and B, which is there, which is the 2 core of that cable, and it sits in here somehow, just like that, and it's screwed in. So I'm going to pop the cables in and hope this works, because currently I've just disconnected the entire house. Right, so I've got it just loosely positioned here. I've had to put some washers on because I can't find any screws big enough to secure the plate. Wires coming in the back. There's enough gap for me to pull the slack through. And now I just need to, I cut one of the wires because it's like 50 volts going through here. So I cut it so they couldn't short when I was messing around with the cable. So I'll strip that and then pop them on here. It also helped me remember which one of them went to which bit. So the cut cable goes to B on here. Let's see if I can't give you a better view of that. It goes to B, which is at the top, and the one that has already got some strip wire goes to A. And then I should be able to put it all back in and it'd be good. So that's those two wires now dropped in. There's a bit too much insulation off that one, but I don't think it's going to cause any problems. I also sort of scrubbed the ends of them because you could probably tell the wires are a little bit black there. I've no idea how this little camera focuses, but I've left a little slack here so that I can pull this cable back through and then attach it up. And then once that's done, I can pop the router down here, cable from that box into the router, and then all of the interwebs can go out to the rest of the house. So that's done. And I'm probably got, I'm probably going to say something else. I'm filthy. Right, that is all sorted. I mean, it's a little bit shit actually. That I gave that cable a bit too much slack, so there's a bit of play there, but that's okay. This can get tidied up later. But I've plugged in my router down here and all the lights seem to be on. And then that means I've only got one cable going up to number 4, which is where my office is at the moment. I'm using the 2 things here, and I don't actually need this little TP-Link thing, splitter, because the modem has 4 holes, so it might be all right. I do kind of want to get a higher speed one, but let's find out if it's worked. So I've turned off mobile data, and you can see I was looking up the wiring. So if I refresh this page, it looks like we have Wi-Fi. So that's been successful. But do you want to see me scrape some wallpaper? Maybe, maybe not. So getting there, I've got the whole week off this week, so I'm able to put a bit more time into this. I've found it quite difficult to work all day, especially when I've had to go into the office or I've been out filming. I found it kind of hard to work all day and then come home and have the motivation to do this. Well, even not just the motivation, the energy. Like, it's actual kind of difficult work to scrape some of this off. It is a bit easier when I've got 2 hands on this, but well, there's the plaster coming away. Oh. So I'm out of breath. I've been doing this most of the day. It is about, I don't know, what time is it now? 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I started at about 11 because I got up late. I've achieved quite a lot, I think, today. I'll keep going for another 4 hours maybe, and then have some dinner, and then back on it tomorrow. Gosh. Oh, is annoying. I don't know if you can see that portion where some of that stuff's coming away. Just about. It's just this sort of bit on the edge where they cut it out and put the socket in. Is that bit's coming off, I think. Oh well, it's all fixable, I think. So ordinarily I'd spray this with water, the wallpaper, to take it off. You can just use warm water with some washing up liquid's quite good, put some of that in there. But when it's multiple layers of wallpaper, it's really hard to get down the layers, especially when it's sort of like almost laminated wallpaper where the water just runs off, it doesn't soak in. So you have to score it all over. So that's work downstairs, but up here there are 4 layers. So I would have to drench the wall, and so it's a bit difficult. So really, in here it's kind of like you just have to put some muscle into it, basically. But we'll get there, I think. Right. I'm starting to get sweaty and I don't really want to be very sweaty on camera, so I'll speak to you later. Actually, I'll just continue with the thing. I think I've shown you something else. It's getting there. I'm looking forward to... I had a plasterer around today to give me a quote on this, so it shouldn't cost too much money. I think it's going to be about £400 for this room. I am sort of thinking maybe I should have learned how to plaster myself, done a course, or got paid a plasterer to teach me, but oh well. So that's the situation I'm currently in. I've got the Commodore PET down here. I need to clear some of this stuff out of the room, but I'm sort of running out of space in which to do it. I'm just really sweaty, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I think once I've got one room completed downstairs, I can sort of move all my stuff into that and then then I'm going to move my bedroom from in there to in here. Then it all starts to come together, and then it's flooring after that. But my nerd room is pretty much done. Pretty much. I say nerd room. It's currently my work office. My work office is going to be in that room over there. But here you go. So I've currently got my little nerd space in here, but I've had to put everything else from around the house in here. But it looks nice. I've painted. I haven't sorted this out yet, but I'll get to it. So I'm quite pleased. So that's your update. That's what you get. I think it's going to be another couple of months before everything's fully done and painted. I think. I don't really know. We'll see. I'm finding a lot of lead in the house. Like big old bits of lead. So this is where the wiring would have gone. It's a bit too thick to compress. Any ideas what I should do with that? Maybe I could melt it down into something. I've got to get these curtains off as well. There is so much to do. Oh well. Right. Okay. I'll speak to you later.